know the cue.
Right.
All right, we are live, and we got ourselves a returning guest and a good friend of mine, and we're very happy to have him back and to have a nice chat with him. He's a FIFA streamer and has aspirations to go pro, and we're excited to talk about more of the steps that he's taking towards reaching that goal. D-Lo, my man, how's
What's
it
up?
going?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while. It's been since what? FIFA 20 or 21?
21, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
started. I started in 21 doing
Okay.
this
Okay. For
podcast.
sure. For
So
sure.
yeah, but you're one of my early guests. So
This
I
is true.
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciated you back then just coming through and having a good chat.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, so but we've been keeping in touch and just having conversations in regards to FIFA and like kind of like been following up with your process in competing. So
Yeah.
you know, kind of give us an update of where you're at right now
Yeah.
with that.
Got it. So where I'm at right now, looking at the screen, I'm in the elite division. So for a lot of you guys that know, that's sort of like the promised land or the holy grail for people to be able to compete in these like competitions or to be like FIFA verified. And you have to do this before December to be able to like compete in the global series. Global series takes the top 160 players in North America. Each region has its own qualifiers. So you gotta get to the elite division to be able to participate. I made it 2 days ago for the second time this season, which was great. First time, I only had maybe 5 days to play. This season, I have about 3 weeks. So the way that it's broken down is you have your skill rating, your approximate rating, and the percentage of the elite players that you are put in. So for me, for example, since I just got in, I'm started off at an 1800 skill rating. I'm ranked 106,680th, and I'm part of 55% of the players in the North America region that are in this division. So my goal is to get into like 2%, which is like you are a part of that top 200, top 180, 168. So I've been able to do this with a budget of $276, which is it's a pay to win model, as most of you know if you didn't know. And it's been a quite the process. I've have a FIFA coach who he coaches a lot of EMLS players and a couple players in Australia that are top notch. He kept me under his wing when he transitioned to an esports organization, so I've been able to keep him around. I also got an esports psychologist who helps me plan out the days that I have to work, the days that I have free, my when I was going to school, study time, and girlfriend time and me time to kind of take a break from gaming so that I can rest my mind. So it's a lot of science. It's also giving me a diet, a workout plan, which I follow. So there's a lot of moving elements into going into this professional scene. Some organizations provide all that where I've had to seek my own way to get there.
hmm Yeah, I remember you sharing all that, and that's amazing to see. Like you're taking all these steps for you, because it shows that you're really taking this very seriously.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's my passion, so I want to give it a shot until I hang up the boots, as they say.
right, right. Now, you told me to be maybe the top 160 or 150 in NA, you might have to get at least an SR of 2200. Is that right? You say as an
Yes,
estimate? Okay.
that is correct. SR, because the way that FIFA is structured, now, you get relegated after the season's over. So by two divisions. So it's a different breakdown. So if you're in the elite division, you go back to Division Two. If you're in Division Two, you go back to Division Four, so on and so forth. So you can't get as high as you could on FIFA 21, where all of the players sat in Division or 2400 skill rating or higher. So it keeps everything fair, balanced. It keeps everybody engaged and game. So I could see why EA did that because it keeps people engaged. You have a goal to work towards, and you're playing the game and you're grinding. So, or you have to respect the grind. You got to play to enter. So it keeps everybody, all the players like on their toes, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do like where can you find the leaderboards of the top skill ratings?
So if you go into so if you go play, like you go into the ultimate team mode and then you go into leaderboards, you can take a look at um everybody by different categories: match earnings, profit, club value, top squad, and you can go then to the top 100. And then when you are in the elite division, it does give you a breakdown. So if I go and click and I go into the elite division, it'll only give me the skill rating for my own skill rating and all the ranking and stuff for me, but it won't give me like a breakdown as to, where people sit and where you place. Uh, Actually, it does. My fault. So in the elite leaderboard,
Okay.
like before you enter the leaderboard,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you the online ID and the skill rating. And like I said, mostly everybody's in the mid 2200s, like 22.5, 22.7 is sort of where you need to be. But this is the elite top 200. So you have Nicolas, this is everybody around the world.
I
So
see. Okay.
yeah. Um, but it doesn't give me a way to change it for regional. It's just global.
I see. So what would be 100 at like the 100th guy? What would that SR be right now?
100th player, I'll tell you right now.
I don't know if I wish they would tell you the regional like
Yeah, I wish too.
rankings too cuz cuz you could keep track of like
Yep.
where people are at and
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
The 100th player is 2206.
2206. Okay.
Yeah. So as long as I can get to gold, remember, top 150. If I can get to 2192, I'm in a good spot.
2192. Okay. All right. And then in season 1
2192.
what'd you end up with for your SR?
1850 because I got in it like with 3 days left. Like I was grinding. I remember everybody started at Division 10, and they had to work their way up. So for me, people were only able to get like 21 or 2200, like on the dot.
Mhm.
Um, there was only a couple of people who got to go at higher because obviously they don't have full-time jobs. They play FIFA full time,
Mhm.
6 to 8 hours a day. So um, they were able to progress further than people who have to work like myself or other players that are actually FIFA verified, and there's two of them that play in EMLS now, Giuseppe and Savvy Panda. Savvy Panda plays for LAFC, and
Mhm.
Giuseppe plays for LA Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Now last year was a lot different, right? All you had to do was get Elite 1 in Foot Champs, right, to be verified,
correct, correct.
and you could get an
Um,
invitation just based off that.
so you got no, so you had
No.
to get FIFA verified to be actually considered. Then you had to get top 200.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
You have to
So
place like top 200 in foot champs, or
Foot Champs is more now like it's just there. It's a game mode that you can play. A lot of people play it because they want to get Team of the Week or they want to get, you know, FIFA, foot rewards.
well,
So
we're
they
talking
just
about
play.
back then, like
Oh, back
for the
then,
lab.
yeah. So back then, you get 27 and 3. You're most likely ranked based on your skill rating of whom you beat that weekend. So if you beat somebody like that was in 2300s or 2400s, you got 18 and 2 or 17 or 27 and 3. Excuse me. The possibilities of you getting on the leaderboard were significantly high.
And you didn't necessarily need to have a high SR, right? Like last year to get an invite for like a qualifiers.
Well, it helped when you placed on the leaderboard because then it showed that you were legit
Uh huh.
and you were consistent. A lot of these esports organizations look for usernames that they see all the time that place pretty high on the leaderboard so that they'll be like, okay, this guy, I've never seen him before, but he's doing really well. That's why they tell you that it's encouraged to stream so that you can be uh, identified.
Mm-hmm. But now they changed it all up, right? Now the emphasis is more on SR, and foot champs doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, you're right. So foot champs is not necessarily something that is looked at. More so, it's how you do in the elite divisions now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they changed it this year. It's a good change up, but it's still the same amount of grinding. I feel as a player, there's a lot less stress because you got to play 30 games. You used to have to play 30 games in a weekend, and you have could only lose 3 of those games. I think this also mitigates a lot of people from DCing. You know, a lot of players had that issue where people would DC, they would get the loss and then would ruin their whole weekend because they were doing so well and they would be winning, and then the player would DC or DOS and you get the loss. And it was very unethical and it was very discouraging for players like myself who would be okay this year. All right, I'm 20 and 0. Let's go. And then I would have 4 disconnects or 5, and it would put me 20 and 5. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would finish 22 or 23 and 7 because I'd get so many DCs because a lot of my players that I match up with, they're not even in North America. They're in Central America. They're in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's based on the lowest, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. It's based on the lowest connection. So even if I have a high connection, we play on their connection,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it very difficult,
Yeah.
which made it very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
So, what about the when you're playing in the elite division? Is the connection good? You're not dealing with any DCs
I've
or anything?
noticed on the next gen, I'll see like a little like tab or like a bar
Mm-hmm.
showing me like the connection, and even though it might be in the red or in the yellow, it's okay. I know I've adjusted to the delay. So if there's a delay, I know that I can do it because I've played in it so long now. I have had played around like 800 games now,
Mm-hmm.
close to 1,000. So I've adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're the type of player that could play well on kind of different variety of connections, like on a good one or even on a bad one? You feel like you could adjust pretty well.
It was an adjustment. I think that I do better now than what I used to do. Obviously, every player can tell you that they do better if the connection is nice and good, or they play over or live. You know, because you don't experience anybody. Some people play really really good live, and some people are don't because they're so adjusted to the delay
Mm-hmm.
that they have a hard time playing live.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some players maybe they like always have like bad connections, so they're used to playing on like pretty low quality gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fair and that's fine. you
Uh huh.
know. But I think that if you're trying to compete, you got to get used to a better connection.
Right. If you're really good, I mean, you should be able to play on all connections and you know.
Absolutely. If you're
Yeah.
really good, you're legit. You should be able to adjust. Like everybody, like just like the good players adjust to like patches and stuff. You should be able to adjust to like a connection. You just got to get used to it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, for like all the pro players like right now, how much do you think they would spend to get those meta teams like, the R9, Ginola, Neymar, Mbappe?
Yeah, some players range between 3,500 to 6,000, even seven. That's
Uh-huh.
the range you're looking at. I know Hectic Juke spent like $5,000. He represents Chicago Fire. Now, these organizations will give you like an allowance as to
Mhm.
like how much you can spend, but like I was talking to Giuseppe, like he gets an allowance to invest in his team. Everybody invests in the beginning, and then they'll play Ultimate Team to get like pack luck, or they'll do like SBCs. Like for me, to be able to do what I've done with a $276 budget team, yeah, have I had pack luck? Yeah, I packed Messi in the beginning, so I sold him off early.
Mhm.
I packed Conte, I sold him off. Like I've packed good players that I've been able to save, and I finally got Mbappe. I got some really good fodder, and so I've invested in like some of the higher tier SBCs so that I could like compete. Am I gonna have R9? Am I gonna have Rude Hullet? Probably not. But these guys, I mean, they have the sponsorship and the organizations to back them. So players like me who are trying to like make it, I gotta like rely on my own budget, you know? And that's okay because like a lot of the pro players that I have been able to connect with, like they've given me good like advice as to how I could get there. Some people just focus strictly on gameplay and are able to beat those super teams, and I've been able to do that with
Okay.
having that mentality and focusing on tactics and strictly on gameplay and the personnel that I have at my disposal.
Mhm. Yeah, cuz what you told us from your budget, I mean, you are underpaying compared to those pros. But,
Yes,
you know, it does help with that pack luck and it's like you could still, in terms of the squad, you could still kind of close the gap with some of the players. I mean, you don't. It does help to have all the meta players and all the expensive guys, but there's like still a lot of great players out there, and you could formulate a pretty solid team.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
100%. Like I look at my team now and it's very good. You know, you invest and you do your research. Like I'm happy with my team. Like I got the meta defense just about, and I have enough going forward that I can get in, and I attribute that to my coach,
Mhm.
my support system. It's really important. I would say I would have to highlight is having a good support system.
Yeah.
Like you can be on alone on an island, never seen the light of day because you're just doing it on your own. You're just kind of battling through the trenches, but like having a support system and having the people like to direct you and guide you it's so important.
Definitely. Definitely. Who do you have on your squad right now? Maybe you could tell us the players that you have.
Yeah, so going from like front to back or back to front. Let's go from back to front. So I have
Okay.
your normal Virgil van Dijk, Cancelo, Varane, Mendy to round it off, and Allison in goal.
Mhm.
And then I have flashback Kareem Benzema, Conte, and road to the final Bernardo Silva. And then I did the Black Friday promo where I got Gilson Martins, I got Mbappe, which I was saving for. I got Vinicius, and then on my bench I have Saint Maximin, I have Rafinha, I have David Neres, the SBC, I have Di Maria. I have ones to watch Alaba just in case one of my center backs is sent off,
Mhm.
and I have Timo Werner.
Okay.
And I did that Adidas Power Up Hard objective with Bergwijn. So
Okay.
I've grinded, So and I have one to watch Kamavinga.
Okay. Okay.
So
Any of
it's
those cards informs?
no,
Oh,
only the ones that I mentioned, which was the Bernardo Silva. Oh,
team of the week?
like team of the week.
Yeah.
No, just I have no Rafinha's team of the week, but I
Okay.
got him from my foot champs rewards, and I got Roberto Firmino, the 86 one from my foot champs awards, where I had him in my team for a while, but he was just too slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many coins do you have right now?
Right now, I packed Conte yesterday for my elite rewards, which was nice. So I have
Oh, nice.
416,000 coins, and then I still have Conte in my team. So I theoretically could sell him. And I would have 700 and probably 750, and I could get that new Renato Sanchez.
Uh
So he
huh.
would theoretically fit in my team. But the thing about it is, it's like you don't have to have the the meta all the time. It's really important to get used to the players that you have so you can like get consistent. So I used to be like, oh, I gotta have Renato Sanchez. Oh, I gotta have this person and that person. But it's important to develop consistency with the players that you have so you could be like, I know how to work them and I know when I'm gonna get out of them. And then that's when you start to build. And then once you develop that, and you'll be like, okay, it's time to get a new player to add to my group. I've saved enough that I can get somebody legitimate. My next player that I want to get is Genola
Mm-hmm.
or Neymar, one of the two. So that I can have like a legitimate attacking three. That I could be like, okay, I got I'm sorry, attacking four. I got Benzema and Mbappe in front. I have Gilson Martins, and I have either Neymar or Ginola on the left, and then I have like a decent center midfield that I can do enough. Would I love to have Red Hood? Of course, but I have enough now to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seems like Neymar would be more realistic than Ginola.
It would. I mean, I would still need like even if I were to sell Conte, I would still need 1 million coins to get him.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah.
But actually,
Unless I
uh huh.
sold Mbappe, which I'm not going to, and I would get Ginola instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. A couple of people I know already packed Ginola from like the Foot Hero pack.
Yeah. It's I didn't do the pre-order in time. I did the pre-order, but not the pre-order before you got like the that foot hero.
Mm-hmm.
So I unfortunately didn't get a chance to participate in that, but that's okay.
I played with a friend's account. He let me use his account from time to time, and he packed Ginola, so I got a chance to play with him.
Yeah, how do you like them?
He was amazing.
Yeah, I'm
He
sure
was,
those
oh my
elite
gosh, it
players are
was
really good, man.
so fun to play with. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
but hey, but you never know, man. Maybe you could pack him. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if you're trying to do that SBC or
It's like what, 400 coin
unless you have
around
like
there?
some fodder that you could use up.
I taking a look at uh taking a look at the SPC. Let's take a look here just real quick since I have it up.
Yeah, I don't think the upgrade is worth that much.
Uh so oh yeah, it's not. It's for 84, 83,
Yeah.
82, 82. I mean, I could do I could do it and see if I get anything. If I got something. The probability is very low. If I got even if I got a Di Natale, I'd be happy because he's like legit.
Yeah, he's a solid card. Did you do
So
the did you get the ultimate edition?
I did, but I didn't. So you only had like a window to like pre-order it to get like a Foot Hero guaranteed.
Right.
I passed that window, but and I know that for like a period of time you also get the packs like
Uh-huh.
every weekend.
Yeah.
But this year I just didn't my own negligence. It was
Okay.
just I didn't do it in time because I was just procrastinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of like your gameplay and your style of play in 22, how has that changed compared to 21? And have you been adjusting to the new metas for this game?
Yeah, I mean my coach gave me like the whole breakdown of like what I have to have for my formations for each scenario or situation. So I'm pretty set on that, and I've adjusted to those formations and when I need to implement them. I think what I used to do in FIFA 21, I did the scoop turn a lot. I did the croqueta a lot. Cancels, I was starting to do those a lot more. Elasticos, I did a lot. Now, a lot of that is changed where they're not as prominent anymore. So you could do them, but it's more about possession and it's more about finding gaps, like finding, like using the was it the player switch function? I noticed a lot of players use those now, like where
Mm-hmm.
you do the manual switching with like you push L3 and R3 down, and then you can go into a different player while the computer is controlling the player with the ball, so you can control your runs manually or bring your players back to open those gaps.
Right, the
So
player
there's
lock.
that. Yeah, player
Uh-huh.
lock. There you go. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And I do notice that a lot of players that once they make their way in the box, they'll do a skill move like they used to, but not as much. They don't spam it as much as they used to in FIFA 21 than in FIFA 22. It's harder because the defenders are better.
Mm-hmm.
And the goalkeepers were OP at one point in the beginning of the game where I was like, that should be a goal. Like I know
Right.
that I score that all the time. You and I
Yeah.
discussed it in the beginning. I was like, I had I couldn't qualify my first foot champs, and then I qualified, and then after that, I was able to qualify after that. But it was
Right.
finding that rhythm and finding that new, unknown as to like how to adjust. So I feel like I've adjusted now. I feel like I found my rhythm. Uh, Prime example of that, it was like I was playing an elite player, and I was down 3-0. Second half, I scored 4 goals and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different focus that you have to have where I noticed that I go in, I don't show any emotion, and every time I score, I like wipe my hands and then refocus for the next play. I think that's also the difference as well in going into FIFA 22. I did spend some time in an esports facility in Santa Monica with the
Mm-hmm.
Immortals. Like my psychologist took me in, and we spent about 7 hours just like leveling my monitor, making sure that my seat, my controller, and everything is ready. Like taking the time to set up, taking a deep breath, having like a clear space, not having a bunch of clutter, making sure I've eaten, making sure that I've done what I needed to do, working out, making sure that all I needed to focus on is FIFA. And I noticed like within the first like 2 or 3 hours, like I would say things to myself or talk to myself. So he would tell me like afterwards, he would say, okay, you gotta stop talking to yourself. You just gotta focus. You get scored on. Just okay. If it was a good play, it was a good play. There's nothing you can do about it. Accept it mentally and then move forward. So within the next 2 hours, I started to adjust. And by the end of it, it was like I only I played in that block the last 2 hours, 10 games, and I only lost once, and I won nine.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like just adjustments and different things where I didn't have that in FIFA 21, where I had professional help in FIFA 22. It's been a huge game changer. And me getting back into the division like that again, it's like, okay, got back into it. Now it's time to work. I have 3 weeks to do really well and then see how I do. And then go into season three. Okay, this is sort of like this is where I finished and this is where I need to go. And then by season four, then that's where I want to be like, okay, this is where I'm at. I got to the ultimate goal. I'm competing and I'm hoping that I have a great team by then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned that because it's like if you have kind of your setup, your routine,
Hmm.
to kind of like prepare you mentally for these games. It's really interesting that your psychologist kind of walk you through that and kind of
Yeah.
give you like a like a setup of how you could just be mentally focused in playing your games and really just dial in.
He also has me read.
Read. Okay, what does he have you reading?
So he has me reading. Let's see if I can get the book. There it is. So every night I'm supposed to read this book, Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Um, so basically, it gives you structure as to like um, knowing how you can change your bad habits and get to good habits. The biggest thing was like getting 1% better every day. So 1% worse every day for 1 year and 1% better every day 1 year. So like by the end of the year, you've gotten 37.78% better. So like if you are committed to getting better every day, you gotta follow different steps. So for me, it was to get better at esports. So like every day I'll practice, I'll pick on one thing that I want to get better on that day,
Mm-hmm.
and then just keeping consistency, and then changing my mentality. A good example that I highlighted is that there you know I'm not the goal is to not read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to be a gamer. The goal is to be an esports pro. The goal
Mm.
is not running a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. So like
Mm.
you start to incorporate, I'm not just going to play video games. I'm going to be the gamer, the esports
Right.
gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and you can incorporate that in anything that you do in your life, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It keeps me accountable, and I
Mm-hmm.
we have book club, so we talk about it so that it keeps me accountable. Or if I don't do my workouts, he keeps me accountable. Why didn't you? It's like a legit coach. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why didn't you do what you were supposed to do on the field? This like is my digital pitch, so I have to do the things to prepare me to be able to perform.
Yeah. So what are some of the habits that you might have changed that might have
So I have a
improved your gameplay?
calendar now
Uh-huh. Okay.
that I wrote down my schedule.
Okay.
I tidied up around my area, my gaming area, to make it more like me. There's less clutter. I messed up my back, but now it's better again. So I've been going back and working out. I'm gonna be playing real soccer next year, like in a co-ed league.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be doing that. Spending more time with my kid when I get to like FaceTime him. Spending more time with my girlfriend. Not just going straight and playing. So developing good habits for myself. Now developing habits for practicing. Like I used to play a lot of COD. I cut that out completely.
Okay.
I play FIFA first and foremost, and then when I'm like tired, like I'll like do something that I enjoy. Like I've been playing Apex.
Okay.
I play Halo since I have the Xbox Series S,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully. So like I'll give myself a break. If I've lost, I'll take a break and just walk away and get out of the room, just so that I don't like go into this pitfall. So I'll think about it. I do a film review on my own now. So I'll be like, what did I do good? Why did I go down 3-0 and have to battle back 4-0 to 4-3? Like, and really identifying, okay, this is what I did wrong. This is what I can't be doing. And this is what I did right when I was against the wall. But I shouldn't get against the wall all the time. Like, let's try not to get there and try to like be on top all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the like significant changes. And then just meeting with esports pros. Like I'm gonna meet with Joxan um, in 2 weeks in
Okay.
person,
Okay.
which is gonna be hella cool. And I'm going to talk to Savvy Panda on Zoom. We just our schedules haven't lined up, so I have to DM him, and because he's a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
so nurse life is very like robust, where you have like a lot of different moving parts for like different hours of the day. It's like a 12-hour day. So I'll meet with him. I talked to Jason a lot from FootWiz. He left FootWiz. He's now an unattached player, but he's one of the top players in Australia. So he's how I met my coach Zach.
Okay.
I talked to him, and then I talked to Giuseppe. So all those things, you take those into account. Those have been game changers, and that's attributed to my success this season.
Mhm.
But there's a
Yeah.
lot of moving parts and a lot of things I have to do. Oh, I also had an aura ring, which is like uh something that tracks my sleep, so my coach can see if I'm getting the adequate rest, and if I'm not,
Okay.
why.
Mhm.
It's specifically tracks my body energy and my sleep patterns, and it recommends when I need to go to sleep. It'll tell me, okay, it's time to wind your body down. So that's when I'll get off the gaming stuff, and then I'll go read. Um, so there's that, and then they put like a freaking magneto thing on my head where like it tracks my focus.
Uh-huh.
So there's that. I recently lost my Aura ring, so I had to replace it. So I was really upset about that because it's not um a cheap piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Um, I did win a PS5 recently, so that was pretty cool. Um,
Okay.
so there was that, and then yeah, so this journey has taken me into bounds that I never thought I could get to.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're doing all these things and making all
Yeah,
these connections with all the pros.
yeah,
That's
for
good to
sure.
hear, man. That's good to
Yeah,
hear. Well, let me ask you one more thing before I let you go.
sure.
Is you kind of just your FIFA schedule. Like, so
Yeah,
how many hours are you playing a week? How many days in the week? And in those hours, what specifically are you doing to like improve or to get
that's a great
yourself to
question.
yeah.
That's a great question. So I play every day, first
Okay.
and foremost.
Uh-huh.
Depending on my work day, let's just say I close, and my closing schedule is between like 1 to 10. So I'll make
Mhm.
sure that I'll play before work. So I'll get up, eat breakfast, play
Yeah.
for 4 hours because I know when I get home, I'm going to be really tired from
Yeah.
work. So that way means that I'll play for about 1 hour and a half to 2 hours. So about 5.5 to 6 hours a day. So
Mhm.
if you say like five and a half, so two, so that's what, 11, 22. Let's see, let's just do 6 or 11 times 4. That's 44 hours. And then you add the other two. So that's, let's see, 44, 49. I'm playing 44 to 40 hours a week. Let me do the
Okay.
math. Let me do the math properly real quick. So let's see, five. Wait a minute. That's horrible math. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. Actually, it's 38.5.
Okay.
38.5 hours a week. But the pros are playing everywhere between 45 to 50 hours a week because they do or more because they get to play 6 to 8 hours a week because they don't have jobs.
Mhm.
But and that's all they do.
Yeah.
And they're like 16, 17, 18 years old. So
Mhm.
the advantage for them is significantly higher. But what I do practice on when I um, do my training blocks is okay, this today I want to focus on finishing, or today I want to focus on defending better, player switching, or today I want to focus on green shots, like green shot times.
Mhm.
Or today I want to focus on headers, or today I want to better my skill. Like today I want to focus on gameplay, playing well, and getting getting to at least 1900 today for skills SR.
Okay.
So I'll give myself intentional goals to hit and then sub goals for
Uh-huh.
those days so that
Yeah.
it's more intentional versus like the player who has 6 to 8 hours a day can just play, doesn't have to necessarily worry about it because they're just naturally good, or they'll like look at game film and then be like, oh, I can do this and I'll do this for like the next 3 hours. So I have to be like very purposeful. And then I also leave about 4 hours of film time. So you add that to the 38 hours, that'll take me to
Mhm.
40. So yeah, so it's like 44 hours a week
Mhm.
times 4. That's what,
Mhm.
176 a month, 176 hours a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
Mm-hmm. So when you say you're working on like time finishing or headers, are you like going into like skill games? You going into
No,
arena or
going
okay.
into yeah, I'm going into skill games. I'm sorry. Yeah, so like I'll work on that because it gives me like the ability to do that all there.
Now, are you
I
doing
don't
that
play
every day?
every day, so to warm
Okay.
up,
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend a good hour. Like it's as if you're like practicing before the real game, like
Right.
before like you practice, you get your technique down and then you go into the real game.
Do you ever go into the arena too and just kind of work on some skill moves that maybe you want to like
Yeah, so I work
sharpen
on
up?
my elasticos or I'll work on I really use my elasticos a lot more now because I start to do it. It's like becoming second nature.
Yeah.
Where I see like the space and the gap and I see the opening and I'll do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
like it's becoming automatic and I'm thinking about it less. I still
Mm-hmm.
think about it, but it's getting to a point where it's becoming second nature. I'll just do it now. A lot of
Okay.
the things that I do now is like becoming second nature because I play so much.
Right.
Hmm.
So now that you do your warm up, you do your drills, you go straight into the games like the mostly probably rivals.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So now that well, I'll still incorporate that unless I don't have the time and I just need to hop in.
Mm-hmm.
I will incorporate that hour before I go into it and do it.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, what are your plans now? I know you told me your schedule and, and all the things that you're doing, the coaching, the psychologist. What do you look to achieve and what are the steps you're taking to get there?
Yeah. So as far as like an EMLS team is concerned, it's kind of those teams are set. So as far as for me to get on a team, it's came and gone. I think that they based it on last season and how high you ranked. So, for example, Savvy Panda did really well. He was in global qualifiers for each global series event. So he got signed. So the way that they scout players now is different. Where last year you could go to open tryouts. So I tried out for the Whitecaps, even though I wasn't from Canada, and I got to the
Mm-hmm.
semifinal. I got to the semifinal for Austin FC, but now that they have those established players, there's not a lot of tryouts going on. So, and then a lot of the top players moved around, like George Adamu, who used to play for FC or not FC New York or New York Red Bulls. He went to Houston. Diddy, Chris, who used to play for FC New York or New York FC, I'm sorry, he left. He wanted to play for another team, so he went to another esports organization. So my goal is to do really well and make live events, so that I can get those opportunities next season. So I've already
Okay.
achieved what I wanted to achieve, which was to get FIFA verified.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big goal. Now the next big goal is to do well this season, and followed by getting signed for an esports team. And
Mm-hmm.
once I do that, then I want to do well in the season, and then I want to do well in the global series, well enough so that I can go to an E World Cup.
Mm.
And once I want to go to an E World Cup, then I'll retire. You know, and to
Okay.
do it at the age that I'm doing and to achieve the things that I'm achieving is pretty unique. You just got to be really, really good at the game naturally, in which I do have the talent. It's just I'm going against guys who have more time than I do and they are younger, but
Right.
I would say if I'm able to do that, then I'll have achieved what I wanted to achieve in the esports journey that I've embarked on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds amazing, and D'Lo, I'm rooting for you, man. I'm hoping
Yeah.
you achieve those goals, and if you do get up there and sign with those teams and play in the E World Cup, just don't forget us, man. Don't forget
For
us.
sure, man. Yeah, for sure. It's a long way to go, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck with that, man. I'm really hoping you do well and achieve what you want to achieve, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And then just this is just for anybody who's out there. You just got to be brave, be bold, be strong.
Mhm.
Um, those are something that I live by with what I do in my life, and you got to be able to want to take risks and be okay with failing over and over again because this has been a hell of a process. So I hope that it encourages other people of all ages, doesn't matter how old you are, to go for really what you want. And that if you're willing to put in the work and the devotion and the discipline and the dedication towards it, that you can achieve anything that you want to do. But it just, you got to be willing to put in the work and the dedication into it.
Yeah, that's a great
Most importantly,
encourage.
the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's a great encouraging message. Well, before I let you go, where can people find you with your social media and Twitch?
Yeah. So Twitter is the one, THEONE 7131. If you want to shoot me a DM there, I'm going to start to stream again. So it's the same thing, the 17136 instead of one. So the 17136. You can find me there. I'm going to start streaming again and streaming at least 3 times a week so that I can stream high quality content as far as like high level content with being in the elite division again.
Awesome, bro. Looking forward to your streams as well, and we'll leave the links in the description below. Thank you again, D'Lo, for your time, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, no problem, man.